Good evening to all of you. So, in our last class, we had completed MVC architecture rules and regulation, and by taking an example that we had got the clarity that was without database. Today, we will cover MVC with database. So, we will consider an example. Through that example, we will get the clarity how to develop an application using the concept of MVC with a database. The same way, suppose let it we have a registration form. We have a registration form. Let this file name is register.jsp. Suppose, and there are some attributes. Let name is one attribute. There is a text box. Suppose let another attribute contact. Suppose this is a text box. Let there is another attribute. Let email. Suppose there is a text box. Let there is another attribute username. Okay, let it so email is unique. Suppose let it password. So there is a text box and there is a command button. So let the value of the button is register. Suppose. Okay, so this is my registration form, or this is client side. When data will go, what we will enter in this form, data will go to the database. But application that will follow the MVC architecture. MVC architecture means definitely we have to represent model component, view component, and controller component. So first we have to develop a register.jsp required file. Suppose what are the files that we have to develop. First we have to develop a register.jsp file. Then based on this registration form, we will develop our model component. In my last class, I have given the clarity in MVC context. Java bin is our model component. So we will create a bin. Let the bin is a register bin dot java. Let so based on this registration form, we will create a bin. This is our model component. Then here, our objective is with database that we are developing MVC application. So one additional file that we have to develop, basically that file is called as a DAO file, DAO, data access objects. Suppose I will develop a DAO file register DAO.java. So this is a simple a .java file which contains JDBC logic, because objective is data will go to the database. Based on registration form, I will create a table in my SQL environment. So this is a Java file, or we can say it is a simply it is a class, but which will contain JDBC code that we will see. Then we have to develop a controller. So we know controller is servlet register servlet.java. Then in controller component we will represent which JSP page as view component. Let some welcome file that will give a positive response. Okay, so let it suppose welcome.java and error.java. Sorry, welcome.jsp file and error.jsp file. Okay, so let welcome.jsp file, error.jsp file as our view component. Okay, so definitely, so 2 points, so two files it is adding. So one is a controller. So in middle, so one file that we have to develop, that is register dao.java, and which contains the JDBC code, and controller is register servlet.java. So this is my controller component. Okay, so these are the required files that we have to develop in MVC with the database context. So I hope everybody got clarity. So this is our architecture. This is our analysis. So first of all, we will go to my SQL environment based on registration table. So I will create a table here based on registration form. Based on registration form, I will create a table. Okay, so create table. So for I will create a table. Create table. Let my database that I have considered employee DB. Employee DB. Create table. Table name. Dot suppose table name is register. Okay, table name is a register. Okay, so first one is name. Let data type is varchar 200 not null. Then contact. Let varchar 200 not null. So then email varchar 200. Let it this is my primary key. Then password varchar 200. Suppose this is not null. This is since it is my last column. There is no comma. Then bracket n. So based on a registration form, first I created a table in my SQL environment. Despite that already we all have known how to create a table. There is no need to explain in detail. So now I will hit run. So table created. Table name is register, and the table register created in employee DB database. If I want to see the structure of table, describe employee dv dot register. Now I will hit run. So already we got the table. Now then I will go to Eclipse environment. So this is my project structure. So now I will create a registration form, new JSP. So file name is register. Click on finish. Okay, so now I will create a form. So let it center. So I will keep my registration form in center. That's why I used center tag. So one header tag I am using. Suppose I will put registration form. Then head tag I end. So I will use form tag, form action equals to. So this is my client side. In registration form, any action will generate. Once action is generating, that means the request will go from the client to server side. So any request, when it will go to the server side in MVC context, the request will reach at the controller component. So you can write register servlet. So that means any what action will generate register servlet.java will execute. So let it I will put in a tabular format, table tag, then row tr, then td data. So first attribute is name. There is a text box input type equals to text, name equals to name. So I will end td. So then sorry, so one by one that I have to. So this is this, then so there is a text box input type equals to text, name equals to. So I will write name suppose, then td end, then tr end. So one row completed. So this part already you all have known. Repeat from the servlet to what till now that we have been developing login form, registration form. So this is for name attributes, name, and there is a text box. Simply I will copy and I will paste here. So just in place of name I will write contact. So name equals to, suppose I will write contact. Then again I will paste here. Suppose the third attribute is email. Input type equals to email. Let name equals to email. Then password. So this is password. For password, input type equals to password. Let name equals to pass. Then I will represent the command button or submit button, whatever you say. Input type equals to submit, value equals to let register. So this is my registration form. You see, this is my registration form. Okay, now my first point is based on a registration form. I will develop a bin. I will develop a bin. So right click on the package, search main Java. So new class. So here let it I will put my package name is suppose let it Silan.bin suppose. Okay, and my class name is register a bin. Get it? So what I told, based on registration form, first of all I will create a bin, and that bin is our model component. So package, so here bin I want to represent under a single package. Controller I will represent, so let it Silan dot controller. Let it so different file I will represent in different package. Okay, DAO file, let it Silan dot DAO. Okay, click on finish button. Okay, so now register bin dot Java created. A very simple Java bin is a simply class containing private data members and containing getter and setter methods. So in registration form, we have four attributes: name, contact, email, and password. So based on these four attributes, so I will take four data members: name, contact. You can take contact as int, there is no problem. Email, password. Okay, then it will contain private data members and it will contain getter and setter methods. Right click, source, then generate getters and setters. So you put a tick mark, click on generate option. So already that we have known how to create getter and setter method. So by taking name, get name, set name, contact, get contact, set contact, email, get email, set email, password, get password, set password. Okay, so this is my bin. Now next point is what which file that we have to develop, that is important. So we have to develop DAO file, data access objects. DAO file is a such file which contains business logic for accessing data. That means it is a simply .java file which will contain JDBC code. So here, if we will do analysis, data we will put in registration form, data will go to database. That means inserting a record into a table. Okay, so now I will create another class. So let it register DAO. Suppose let my package name is Silan.DAO. Let this is my package name. I click on finish. You see, so you see what is my project structure. So Ceylon.bin, so somebody will see, so he can get the clarity. Okay, this is the package Ceylon.bin. Definitely, this will contain our bin model component. Okay, this Ceylon.dao, this is a package. Okay, so this package will contain our DAO file. Okay, so this is the point. So now this register DAO.java, this file will be important for us. So first of all, I will bring our bin. Our bin is register bin.java. Import package name. Package name is Ceylon.bin dot class name register bin. This how to import. Okay, so that register bin. This is my class name. This class I imported here. Okay, so this class is coming from Ceylon.bin package, so that's why I wrote import Ceylon.bin.register bin. Now in this class, suppose I will define a method. So business logic is nothing but a method definition. So within that method definition, I will represent all these things. So all these things means whatever the JDBC, the required JDBC code that we will write here. So let it, I will define a method, let public, let return type is string, okay, return type is string, and one method. So any method that you can write, suppose registration, okay, one method I am defining, then by taking the registration form information detail that we have kept in register bin. So that's why register bin class that we have imported. So within bracket, so what I will pass, you see, this is important, register bin, let ob, one reference that I passed as an argument. One method, this is very, very important. DAO, developing DAO file is key file in this context. So registration method that I am defining, but within bracket what I am writing, I am taking register bin object, register bin reference. Okay, now since I am going to write JDBC code in this method definition, so we know that JDBC code by default throwing checked exception, that's why I will write throws exception for handling checked exception. This, okay, so another point, uh, so since, okay, so already what my SQL connector, this file is already given. So because we will write JDBC code, so you have to configure this file. So this file is already available. Okay. Now, first of all, register bin contains some data members, the features, that is name, contact, email, and password. So we have to getting information for that getter method we have called. You see, so first of all, we have to get name for that get name method, get contact method, get email method, and get password method. We have to get information regarding name, contact, email, and password. How? Suppose I will invoke, okay, I will invoke getter method. So since that getter method available in register bin class, so I will call by register bin reference or object get name, this. So now I got information about name, that information assigned in S1. Similarly, we have four attributes. Let it string s2 equals to ob dot get contact, string s3 equals to ob dot get email, string s4 equals to ob dot get password. So what I did, so whatever the register bin class containing getter methods, that getter methods I invoked here by register bin reference ob, and so I assigned that information into S1, S2, S3, and S4. Just to check get name, get contact, get email, get password. So you check get password, okay. get email, okay, everything is okay. So now, after getting information, now I will start my JDBC login. So already that we have known. So this is the case of inserting a record into a table, and what execute update method I will call, prepare statement interface I will consider. So everything that we have known, and the JDBC code I will so write within a try block. Okay, so that number of steps that we will follow. So first of all, load and register the driver class, drive for driver. So same point that already we have known, there is no need to explain class dot for name. Okay, so I can write com dot. So see this that point, whatever you have known how to insert a record into a table, for that what is the JDBC code. So com dot mysql dot jdbc dot driver, then establishment of connection con equals to driver manager dot get connection method. So within brackets taking three arguments, root password is Silan. So first argument is called as URL, JDBC is my protocol, colon my SQL is my sub protocol, my database name, colon double slash localhost is my server name. So this part you have known many times, that already we have written. 3306 is my port number, slash my database name is employee DB. This is my database name. This part already we all have known. So then, okay, so here JDBC code, once we are writing, for that we have to import a package, import java.sql.star package. So this package also that we have to import. So now after that, so prepare statement, let ps equals to con dot, there is a method prepare statement method. So within that what I will write, insert into table name is register, insert into table name, then values. So four attributes, four question mark, 1 2 3, then 4. Okay, then so I will, after that I will put setter method ps dot set string 1 comma s1. So get already we have got the information name value in s1. So similarly I copied, paste 2 for second column, 3 for third column, 4 for fourth column, s2 s3 and s4. This part already we all have known, there is no need to explain. Then k equals to ps dot execute update method, execute update method returning an int value. So that's why int variable that we have taken as output variable. Logic is if k is greater than 0, one logic that we can write. You see, return type I have taken string. So whatever the method, registration method we are defining, the return type I have taken a string. So that's why, so I will write if k is greater than 0, return something in a string value, suppose success. Okay, so why I took a string value? So if k is greater than 0, that means one record inserted. So since the method return type that I have taken as string, so that's why one string value that I specified. So this is the try if block, then try block here, try block ended, then catch block. So exception E, then E dot print struct trace method. Okay, so try block completed, catch block completed. Okay, otherwise else return something wrong. Suppose one message is specified. Okay, so this is my DAO file. This is my DAO file. So simply this file is very important. Register DAO.java. Basically this file I am saying it is a DAO file. It is a file simply which contains the business logic. Business logic is nothing but one method definition. That method name is registration method. So here what I have done, simply by invoking getter method of register bin class, that we got all information regarding name, contact, email and password. So the that information I assigned in S1, S2, S3 and S4. Then I started my JDBC logic for inserting a record into a table. Okay, now we will go to next point, to create the controller component. So right click on this package, new class. So controller is a servlet. So new servlet. Okay, package name is suppose Silan dot controller and class name is register servlet. Click on next option. So this is your URL pattern. Click on next option, click select do get method, click on finish button. You see the project structure under Ceylon.bin package register bin.java, under Ceylon.controller register servlet.java, under Ceylon.dao package register dao.java. So it is clearly visible. Okay, it is clearly understandable which is model component, which is a controller component, so which is a DAO file. Okay, so now we will develop the controller component. So as usual in our own way, own style, that we will develop our servlet. Java x dot servlet dot star package, import java x dot servlet dot http dot star package, import java dot io dot star package. So this part, okay, so first two line is common, response dot set content type text or HTML, print writer out equals to response dot get writer. This is common. And the first point is to we will process the form data. So string s5 equals to request dot get parameter. So within bracket, so what we have taken for name, contact, email, pass. So I will pass name. So in which way that we have been developing the application, how to process the form data. So get parameter method, when it is invoking by request object, then it is returning a string value. So that's why we are taking string variable, and within bracket we will specify what we have written name equals to. So four attributes, so I will copy and I will paste here. So then again, so string S5, S6, S7, S8. So this is name, then contact, then email, then pass. Now, how to process the form data it completed. So what is the responsibility of controller component in MVC context? Same things, whatever you have written, accordingly we have to develop. Controller component, creating the model component, creating the instance of model component. That means we will create an object of model component. Here our model component is register bin.java. So register bin is my our class name, register bin, let obj equals to new register bin. So this is the responsibility, MVC rules and regulation. Okay, so register bin that I imported, but we have to import register bin. You see, when I will bring my cursor here, then automatically it is coming. You click. Now you see, so import Silan.bin.register bin. Okay, so now after that register bin that we have to import. So register bin object that I created. So this is the first objective of a controller component. So in register bin that we have seen, there are some setter method. In our last class already we have developed in that way. So after creating the instance, after creating the object of model component, so whatever the setter methods that we have written in register bin class, simply I will call obj dot set name method. Within bracket I will pass S5. Okay, set name, set contact, simply I will copy, then I will paste here. So set name, then set contact, then set email, and set password. So this is S6, this is S7, this is S8. Okay, clear, concept is clear. Then, so what I will do here, so controller component, creating the instance of model component. So after that what we did, whatever the setter methods that is present in register bin class, that all setter method that I invoked by the corresponding object. Now how I will call, because controller component executes business logic. How I will call this registration method, controller component creating the instance of a model component. After that, controller executes the business logic. Okay, so here the business logic is our registration method definition, and the business logic that we have written in register DAO class. Registration method definition available in register DAO class. So this method must invoke by register DAO object. But that part I will do in controller component. That means in servlet. That is register servlet. Because whatever you have the business logic, the MVC concept is saying that business logic that you have to execute inside the controller component. So how it will execute? It is nothing but a method definition. So since we have a method definition, so that method I will call by the corresponding object. So first of all, I will create here register DAO object. Register DAO. Let object is obj1 equals to new register DAO, because I have to declare the register DAO object. Once I will create the object of register DAO class, then through that object I will call that method registration method, which is our business logic. So you see, just I will bring my cursor. You see import. Okay, so you have to, because register DAO class that I have kept in Silan.dao package. So we have to import. Now you click here. You see one register DAO class that I imported. How? You can write explicitly, otherwise in this way that you can import. Automatically it is coming import Silan.dao.register DAO. Okay, and you see registration method. Okay, so that is a method. It was throwing exception. It was throwing exception. So definitely, so I will. So it was at the time of definition. It was throwing exception. So when I will call, my objective is how I will call registration method. I will call by object obj1. But that part I will, you see how I will write. I am writing with a try block and a catch block, because that at the time of method definition, that method was throwing exception, throwing checked exception. That's why we had written through exception. Okay. So now, so I will call that registration method. That is very important. And you see, what are the signature? Registration method return type is string. So first of all, I will take an output variable that is a string type of variable. That's the first point. Second point is within bracket register bin object that we have taken. So signature at the time of a definition and at the time of a method call, signature must be same. Just to see in which way that I am writing. Suppose string one output variable. Suppose I will take result. Okay, object name obj1 dot method name registration. Okay, so within bracket I have to, within bracket I have to pass the object. Which object? This automatically the obj is coming to the picture. So this obj here I have taken register bin object. Okay, I hope everybody got clarity. Now registration method definition at that time, whatever the signature, and here at the time of call, signature must be same. And since registration method coming from which class? Register DAO class. That's why I called by register DAO object, that is obj1. And output whatever it is generated, suppose output variable I took result, and which type of variable? String type of variable. Clear? Okay, so if I will write, if, so here return type, what the message that we have taken, return success. So same things. So after executing, okay. So after executing, the controller component will choose a JSP page as view component. So result dot equals method within bracket I have written success. So at the time of definition we have what written return success. So if the result is my output variable, if result content is a success, then a JSP file will give a response. That JSP file is our view component. Let it suppose we have welcome 3.jsp file. Okay, so if condition is true, then we will dispatch a request to another resource. That resource is a JSP file. That JSP file will execute. So what I will write? Request dispatcher rd equals to request dot get request dispatcher. So within bracket, suppose I will write welcome 3.jsp file. So this will be our view component rd dot forward method. Okay, request comma response. This otherwise else if result dot equals. Okay, so now otherwise else, sorry, or invalid what credential or invalid data, otherwise so else error, we have already an error file. So let error 1.jsp file will execute. Okay, so this is our view component. After executing business logic, then the controller component choosing one JSP file as view component from welcome 3.jsp file or error 1.jsp file. So this is my try block. So then I have to once try block you specify, then it is mandatory that you have to specify catch block. So if dot print struct trace method, this control S. So this is my controller component. So in which way, step by step, that everybody have to follow and do analysis, then accordingly one by one that you have to write the code. Okay, since we created, so this is all about our record files that to be developed. So we that all files that we developed. Register.jsp file, then register bin.java, then register DAO.java, then register servlet.java. Since we have a servlet that we developed, so immediately we have to develop web.xml file. And first of all, our welcome file is register.jsp file. So here, so register servlet. So package name is Silan.controller. Silan.controller, and this is register class name is register servlet. So slash register servlet. Okay, control S. Servlet name, servlet class, then in servlet mapping, servlet name and URL pattern. And your welcome file is register.jsp file. Now everything is ready. This is my register.jsp file. This is my register bin.java. This is register DAO.java. This is register servlet.java. and this is web.xml file. So now everything is ready. I will run. Right click on this project, run as, run on server, select server, click on next option, select project, click on finish. So you see, so registration form came to the picture. Okay, so now I will put the value, name is John, contact 9439202111, let mail id suppose John for you @gmail.com, and password is suppose Bhubaneswar BBSR. Let it. So I will click on register button. So 404. So let it. Oh, sorry. Welcome 3.jsp file, and till now error 1.jsp file we have not developed. Nobody is saying. So already we specified welcome 3.jsp error 1.jsp file. So you see, immediately we have to develop welcome 3 view component. Till now that we have not developed. Welcome 3, click on finish. Suppose scriptlet tag, and one output statement I will write out.print method, registration is successful. Let it. Control S. Similarly, I will create another JSP file. So error 1. Click on finish button. So within scriptlet tag, so I will write one output statement out.print method. Okay. So sorry. Let it invalid data. Control S. Now again, just I will go to back and I will click on refresh button. Okay. Control S. Otherwise again I will run. Welcome 3.jsp, control S, error 1, control S. So right click on this project, run as, run on server, select server, click on next option, select project, click on finish. So registration form, let it Smith, contact suppose 98613125535, let it Smith for you @gmail.com, and password let it suppose admin. Click on register button. You see, registration is successful. Okay, so registration is successful. That means welcome 3.jsp file executed, and we will check our database whether the data have inserted or not. I will go to MySQL environment. So what I will run, select star from this table name, that is employee db.register. You see, so already previously one record I had inserted, because the DAO file controller, that servlet file that have executed, that's why data that have come to the database. So for representing response, that we had not developed that two file. So but DAO file controller component, that is servlet file that have executed. So that's why in this way two records that we inserted, so we got the clarity. So data is coming to our database. Okay. So this is all about our MVC with database. So here the most important file is DAO file, that is register DAO.java. This file development is important. Then controller component, your servlet. Okay. So this is all about MVC with database.